Hi there, beloved Ascension pioneers, and welcome to my presentation of Serapina Light, which is my new chapter of light. It's also my new webpage, which you can find under the link below. And I'm here standing in this beautiful spot, which is a natural vortex. It's a pillar of light, a column of light. It's this beautiful waterfall here in Slovenia, and this is actually, I want to say this, where the journey of Serapina Light began for me. Well, it began a bit before, but last fall I went to this place, and this is where I started to really feel that energy. I started to sing the Seraphim attunements, and I started doing these beautiful light activations. And I felt that since now this chapter is culminating, I really felt guided to come here. So the journey where it began, it's now ending here in this beautiful pillar. And you know that my sacred purpose here on this planet is to be a pillar of light. So I want to just give you a short introduction to what Serapina Light is all about, because she's born now. And it's actually a chapter that was culminating for a while. It went through many different stages and phases. And if you're developing through spirit these beautiful creations, you probably are aware of this and how it goes. And a few things that I thought, you know, are not even going to be part of it, then started adding up as I was going this journey. And, you know, I thought I had it all finished, and then a new thing started to unfold, and it was very much guided by spirit. So these things I want to share that are spirit born, that are really creations of the new, they really are birthed through our core of the soul. And this is what Serapina Light is actually all about. Wow, can you see the action happening behind me? So Serapina Light is all about the core of our creation self, and when we start to activate that part in our self-mastery. So in this first part, wow, I'm still alive. In this first part, I just want to share a bit about what you can find on the page, and then on the next part, I want to just share about, wow, we're witnessing some real action here. So in the next part, I want to share more about the core of our creation self, which is the main purpose of the Seraphim, who are creation angels. So what can you really find on my page, and what is it all about? So my main focus was to bring essences of a higher dimensional energy, that when we go about our creations, we enter into this space through frequency first, because a lot of the times we go to the material and then we start channeling the higher frequency. Wow. But in this new energy, it's more about first stepping into the sacred space of the refined frequency, and then actually creating this on a material plane. So the Seraphim creation angels also are all about singing all life and creation into existence. And when we connect to that core creation part of our own self, then we start to understand that better. So on this page, you will find that everything that I bring through is spirit-based. It's based from my own creation frequency. So the main theme is white and gold, which is the frequency of my own soul attunement. So you can find these higher creativity essences that I was guided to bring forth through this new chapter. So the main themes are about light activations and self-mastery courses, which is for all those of you who want to go deeper with me as we start our Ascension journey on a more higher propelled frequency now in this higher vibrational space. So also you can find this high vibrational art that I do. It's all channeled through the frequency of the Seraphim. And everything that I bring through this attunement. So it's almost like it's anointed with that energy. So the main theme is ascension and this frequency of our core self as we begin to really merge with our ascended self. So it's not that that self is something to reach for as a goal, but it's just us becoming in our human form more and more perfected human beings, and this is what this is all about. So if you're gonna go look at the page, you will see that everything now is directed towards that energy, and it's of that higher refined frequency that really defines us, who we are on a core creation level. So besides light activations, and my main one is for free, there's a free Seraphim attunement for everybody. And you can find light activations. There are going to be self-mastery courses that I'm going to be adding to the page, and many new things. There's going to be music coming as well as I go about this journey. So please check that out. And in this next part, I want to talk more about what this core creation self is. So let's see what this is about. So, what is the essence of the Seraphim, and how is it important in discovering our creation self? So when I say core creation self, what this means is that when you first came into creation, when we all did, through our unique soul song, we almost became this beautiful ovoid of light that constitutes our original divine blueprint. So a lot of the times when we live our lives, we don't really live by that core creation self. And we scattered a lot of our energy, while that true focus in ascension is never attained. So the work that I want to present through this page and what I'm going to be doing in the future times to come is to help you to align better with your core creation self, because what happens is when we scatter this focus is we're never really self-fulfilled. So when you understand the nature of the I Am chart, you know, it was presented to us by the Ascended Masters. We have the unique individualized I Am, our source self, that flows through the source of all. And then we have our Christ itself, our higher self. And here we have our soul experiences through the sacred fire, through our threefolded flame, and through the assistance of the violet flame that we walk in our ascension. So as we begin to cultivate that, that in unity consciousness, we begin to merge with that white column of light and really activate it in our core creation self. While on the other aspect, when we don't, we really sometimes, we have desire, because the whole nature of the soul was to have desire. Because through that heart desire, we self-fulfill. We become a whole integrated being that, in spirit, we're already perfect. But in core creation self experience, in the physical, we also activate that through our living soul embodiments. So the whole purpose of the soul is to walk in self-mastery, is to start being more and more in self-mastery, and then eventually starting to work with that ascension light in unity consciousness. So let's say that you would have desires that wouldn't really belong to your authentic core creation self. And by saying that, it's not the same as saying, let's live an authentic life. To live authentically is not the same as living in our core creation self, because, to live authentically means you do the things you like to do, the things that bring you joy in the now moment. Whereas there's even deeper component when we say that we work with our core creation self, because that's the aspect of source that flows uniquely just through you. So you have a very unique, specific purpose in all of creation that, even though you have and you might have different experiences in creation, it's still always that same essence. So when you start to understand that essence and you start to activate it, then your soul begins to be more and more fulfilled. So through that heart desire, which already originates from that core template, you actually start to illuminate with the light of your true radiant self. And you start walking a path from that scattered energy. And let's say that this is not the same as not having choice, because focus and orientation on the path of your core creation self is not the same as you now all of a sudden not having choice and will. Because the difference is that you actually do start to merge with the greater will that is actually your true divine will. Divine will is not the will of the source somewhere outside of you. Divine will is actually your own birthright. It is your own sovereign will through your holy Christ itself. So you actually start to cultivate that in your living presence, and you don't feel that you lack will. You actually gain a greater sense of will and self-empowerment. So you move from living scattered, and we have so many different desires that a lot of the times we don't actually live that which is a true authentic desire. So many beings and masters who attained that path, they understood their core creation self. That's why we have masters in each level of experience. We have masters of alchemy, masters of science, master of the temples of love, and they all knew through that specific focus what their own unique individualization is all about. So that the focus was brought into that, and that's why they were able to fulfill in the external planes of existence as well, and take that up in their ascension column through their self-mastery. And this is what a lot of us are doing now as well as we walk this path. So to discover our core creation self means that we liberate ourselves. We liberate ourselves to the true path and the true nature of our soul, because a lot of times now in these very information-based times, there's a lot of this like I said, this fragmented energy, distorted energy, because a lot of beings, they see something outside of themselves, they like it, but it's not necessarily their path, which doesn't mean, it's wrong, to try something out. But eventually, it's really time for an ascending soul to really see what is their own reflective state, what is their own true inner reality through that core creation self that they will then experience outside of the self. And therefore, they will really start to be fully merged with their soul. They will feel a greater sense of alignment and purpose, and that's what the Seraphim help us with, because they are the original singers of all of life and creation. They bring everything into matter, into form. So the whole purpose of this is that we really start to be more divine in our nature, means that we physically experience ourselves as our true unique nature, our core creation soul song even, and we attune to the wham of the greater frequency and the music of the spheres. And when we do so, we actually ripple that out in the greater collective, so that the whole of humanity has the ability to return back to its true perfected state. This is a process, and it's a process of alignment that we do first within through our own soul's integrity. And then we offer this to the greater service when we master that from within ourselves. So it was really important, and the Seraphim work with really high-pitched frequencies that, like I said, they birth all of life into creation. And that's why I designed a lot of these activations to help us to kind of like really shift to that natural divine template of our perfected state, so that then we bring it into form, because the whole idea of creation is to expand in its beauty and form and physical sensation and of our experiences as in heaven here on earth. So the whole purpose is that we already know that in spirit form we're perfect, but to experience that perfection in a physical sense, and that then all life and creation mirror that back to you, reflect that back. That's such beauty and glory of the divine that we experience through our own self. So when you're going to be maybe guided to look at the things that I'm doing within that page, like I said, there's many tools there. We have mastery courses, light activations. There's even a free Seraphim light attunement that everybody can do. And then when you start to work more and more with your own divine perfection. So this is what Seraphim guided me to share. And this is really important, because with that, we actually offer ourselves as a divine, unique, graceful self to the whole world at large. And there is an immense amount of light that is triggered through that process in our ascension. So, as always, so much love, wisdom, and power. And I'll see you in this new chapter of mine, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Calling forth the beautiful light of the Holy Seraphim, the winged ones, to come into our energy field, to come into our presence, and through their sacred sound, share the perfection of our true cosmic self, our true core creation self, as we invoke their sacred name. We feel how we become the perfection of our true, radiant cosmic self. So be it, and so it is.